Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Highness Said Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed exchanges views on regional issues with the European Parliament delegation. Chairman and members of the Shura Council acquaint with the plans of Petroleum Development Oman Company to enhance production and decrease cost of oil extraction. The Sultanate and United Kingdom sign a memorandum of understanding in the defense field. And for the first time, project of million palm trees produces 300 tons of dates this summer. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Highness Said Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, received today delegation members of the European Parliament, led by Her Excellency Michel Aliou Mary. His Highness viewed relations between the Sultanate and the European Union and aspects of future cooperation between the two sides, praising the role of the Union in strengthening friendship and cooperation ties. His Highness also viewed March of Comprehensive Omani Renaissance under the leadership of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, which encompasses a comprehensive system based on justice, equality, and respect of human rights. Talks also covered means of stepping up and developing cooperation between the Sultanate and the European Union in numerous fields, especially parliamentary, economic, scientific, and research aspects. They also had comprehensive review of developments in the regional and international arenas, as well as efforts exerted to limit tensions and to contain their security and economic reflections, to reach to strengthening security, stability, and values of tolerance and coexistence among nations. From her part, Her Excellency Michel Aliou Mary expressed her delight and that of her delegation of the visit to the Sultanate for its good reputation and wisdom in dealing with developments in domestic and external arenas, praising the steady progress achieved in all fields and that what they had seen of civilizational landmarks, expressing their appreciation for the Omani Shura approach. Her Excellency referred to positive results of the talks the delegation had with His Excellency, the Chairman of the State Council, His Excellency, the Chairman of the Shura Council, and officials in the two councils for strengthening cooperation ties between the Sultanate and the European Union. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Hilal Al Mawali, Chairman of the Shura Council, and His Excellency Engineer Mohammed bin Abu Bakr Al Ghassani, Vice Chairman of the Shura Council. A number of regional and international issues of mutual concern and developments in the region topped matters discussed by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfouz Al-Mandari, Chairman of the State Council, with Her Excellency Michel Aliou Mary, Chairperson of a delegation of relations with the Arabian Peninsula in the European Parliament. They also viewed bilateral relations and ways of enhancing cooperation existing between the Sultanate and the EU. Issues and matters related to the Shura Council and the European Parliament, as well as ways of strengthening cooperation and views exchanged on various matters in the region, were discussed by His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al Mawali, Chairman of the Shura Council, when he received Her Excellency Michel Aliou Mary, Chairperson of a delegation of relations with the Arabian Peninsula in the European Parliament, and her delegation within the context of the official visit to the Sultanate. The chairman presented a brief on the Shura Council, mechanism of its works, and the role it plays in discussing issues of concern to the country and citizens through legislative and monitoring means and tools granted to the Council. In her turn, Her Excellency Michel Aliou Mary praised the inside views of the Sultanate in dealing with political issues in the region and its approach of spreading the policy of dialogue and tolerance in the world, praising the Sultanate's role in resolving political crisis in the region. Decreasing cost of oil production, which currently reaches $26 by using modern methods, topped the matters emphasized by Petroleum Development Oman Company during the visit by members of the Shura Council to the company. It clarifies that it plans to dig around 584 wells, mentioning that the active wells this year amounted to more than 8,000 wells. The company also affirms that Omanization reached 75%. The Ministry of Defense signed with its British counterpart an appendix of Memorandum of Understanding, which was signed in 1994 related to cooperation in defense between governments of both countries. The appendix forms a framework that organizes mechanisms and procedures related to status of their forces and procedures of judicial authority in both countries, in accordance with principle of reciprocal dealings that both sides will be granted same legal status for the visiting forces in both countries. The appendix was signed by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harib al-Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs on behalf of the government of the Sultanate, and by His Excellency Michael Fallon, Minister of British Defense on behalf of the government of the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland. Project of planting 1 million palm trees in the Sultanate is prepared to harvest crop of 15,000 trees at the start of next July. That was announced to the Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television by Dr. Saif bin Rashid al-Shakhsi, Director General of the project of planting 1 million palm trees at the Diwan of the Royal Court. It is expected that 300 tons of dates are expected to be harvested this year, and the product is in a continuous increase during the coming years. The planting of 1 million palm trees, which was ordered by His Majesty the Sultan, as was planned currently, 600,000 are being planted in 11 farms located in 6 governorates, namely the governorates of Braymi, Dhahira, Dakhiliya, North Sharqiya, South Sharqiya, and Dhufar. Director General of the project of planting 1 million palm trees at the Diwan of the Royal Court revealed that an international conference on investment in palm trees and date sectors, reality and perspective will be held on Monday to discuss aspects related to palm trees in fields of processing dates, investment, marketing, and specifications. The conference idea came to form a stage to discuss and gather experiences either from the farmers or processors, as well as investors and marketing methods. There is a large turnout to attend the conference from different countries of the world. Some work papers will be presented hailing from the United States, Europe, Arab countries, Asian countries, and all rich in contents. He hoped that the conference will reach tangible results of benefit in processing, best investment methods in palm trees, as well as those who are concerned of the sector. Still to come in our news bulletin. The second annual leadership forum started in Muscat. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. To facilitate procedures of crossing border posts of the Sultanate and the United Arab Emirates, top discussions of the meeting held today in Muscat between His Excellency Lieutenant General Hassan bin Mohsen al-Shraiqi, Inspector General of Police and Customs, and His Excellency Lieutenant General Saif bin Abdullah al-Shafar, Under Secretary of the Ministry of the Interior of the United Arab Emirates, and his delegation. They also had cordial talks and viewed points of view on a number of matters of mutual concern. Suspicious financial transactions in the field of money laundering and financing of terrorism topped the discussion of the workshop organized by the Royal Oman Police in cooperation with Capital Market Authority. A number of governmental and private bodies which related to financial transactions participated in the workshop. The event discussed a number of work papers to provide visions, enhance abilities, exchange expertise, gaining more information and skills, and uplifting vocational level for workers in this field. Omani businessmen reviewed economic, investment and trading opportunities with their Chinese counterparts during a gathering held between them in Shanghai. The gathering included signing 2 commercial agreements in oil and gas field. Here is a report.
The Chinese city of Shanghai was the first station for the Omani commercial delegation, among other stations aiming to promote and publicize the Sultanate's economic potential. Meetings and dialogues were held within the gathering between delegations of the 2 countries concerning contracts and trading agreements, including economic agencies contracts for some major Chinese companies. The Chinese delegation welcomed cooperation with Omani businessmen due to Oman's distinguished strategic location, enabling it to be a vital commercial gate to various Arab countries, passing by Asian countries and reaching to the African continent. During the gathering, the Chinese businessmen watched a visual presentation about this special economic zone at Duqm, followed by signing 2 trading agreements in the oil and gas field between Omani and Chinese companies. This gathering is a remarkable chance to acquaint with investment opportunities available in the 2 countries due to the economic progress of Shanghai and the Sultanate's logistic potentials.
In order to boost and activate the conception of social responsibility and partnership among government and private sector institutions so as to achieve permanent progress and growth to the society, Bank Muscat celebrated the announcement of 15 national teams who obtained support within the Green Playgrounds program, which has supported 64 teams so far in different wilayas of the Sultanate. This ceremony included inauguration of the new grass playground for Al-Shabab team in Wilaya of Boshar in the Governorate of Muscat. The event was held under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Abdel Manam bin Mansour Lahsani, Minister of Information. In a statement to Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television, His Excellency Dr. Abdel Manam bin Mansour Lahsani, Minister of Information, said that this is a valuable contribution from the private sector to support youth efforts, especially that the Sultanate's governorates have many sports and youth teams that are in great need for support and attention, and Bank Muscat renders a remarkable example in this aspect of social responsibility, which is the responsibility of all, whether in public or private sector. With the attendance of a number of managers and administrators from public and private sector, the 2nd Annual Leadership Forum started. The forum, organized by Al-Asayid for Conference Management, entitled The Business of Winning. The forum, that is presented by the specialist in the field of Formula One, Mark Gallagher, focuses on core values at workplace, leadership, and motivating employee and strengthening his or her work relation with the environment. Mark Gallagher explained to the participants the concept of successful teamwork, and he gave a good example about it, which is Formula One race. The educational forum witnessed as well the participation of leaders and experienced from international organizations. Islamic Banking, introducing its products and facilities, services, and features that it renders in the Sultanate, were the main focus of Islamic Banking Contract Seminar, which was entitled Fiqh View and Judicial Application. Statistics indicate that Islamic financial transactions increased to more than 2 billion Omani riyals. The seminar, organized by Bank Muscat, focused on financial contracts that are provided by financial institutions and providing views towards them from Sharia and legal aspects. The Ministry of Manpower, in cooperation with Information Technology Authority, organized today a workshop on e-tendering for private sector beneficiaries. E-tendering, which was recently launched, comes as part of the ministry's plan in executing the transformation plan to e-government. The ministry seeks to render its services electronically via advanced smart systems. E-tendering contains a database of more than 4,300 companies registered and approved by the tender board. It saves effort of various government institutions and those in charge of tender projects, as well as decision makers and local and international companies, as there is one portal for all users. In a step to get institutional accreditation for colleges of technology, the Ministry of Manpower organized a preparatory workshop on academic accreditation for colleges of technology. The workshop discusses a number of topics on standard assessment work and its results, joint work among colleges, and evaluation methodology and its steps. It as well discusses communication tools and modern techniques which form a tool to implement the accreditation. It is worth mentioning that colleges of technology pass the quality audit stage that is applied by Oman Academic Accreditation Authority. Now for the general weather forecast. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and generally clear rest of the Sultanate, with chances of cloud accumulation and scattered rainfall over the Hajar Mountains and the nearby areas. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate along the coastal areas of the Sea of Oman. Rest of the Sultanate, it will be southerly light to moderate. Seas will be moderate along the coast overlooking the Arabian Sea with a maximum wave height of 2 meters, and slight along the rest of the Sultanate's coast with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed exchanges views on regional issues with the European Parliament delegation. Chairman and members of the Shura Council acquaint with plans of Petroleum Development Oman Company to enhance production and decrease cost of oil extraction. The Sultanate and British signed a memorandum of understanding in the defense field. And for the first time, project of Million Palm Trees produces 300 tons of dates this summer. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.